You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hitchcock, and you're listening to the weekly Betoota News Bulletin, coming to you from Koala Mat Studios in downtown Betoota. Joining me in the studio is Wendell Hussey, the cadet from the Betoota Advocate. Thanks for steering the ship while I was away, Del.
My pleasure, Bruce. I'm sure the listeners inside the Diamantina Shire and in other parts of the country are very glad to hear the dulcet tones of your golden tonsils again. I hope you enjoyed your cruise.
Thanks, mate. Certainly was a nice holiday. Gastro aside, of course. Anyway, let's get into it. Here are the top stories from the Betoota Advocate, Australia's oldest and most respected newspaper. First up, and in national news, scientists have confirmed this week that executives at the grocery giant Coles break down exactly 1,000 years faster than their plastic bags. The finding by Australia's peak scientific body, the CSIRO, comes after the supermarket heavyweight announced that they'd be caving on their new plastic bag scheme and handing the bags out for free before they changed their mind again at the end of the month. In one of the most impressive backflips since Mike Baird caved on his plans to turn Wentworth Park into a church, Coles are going to continue giving out bags as customers need more time. Their CEO said to us,
"Just like Woolies, we sell overpriced shit produce, gouge farmers across the country, and spam people with our appalling ads. So we figured, why not take the opportunity to create a point of difference and give out free plastic bags?"
And Wendell, in news around town this week, a priest has mistaken a local man's confession as a job application.
Yeah, that's right, Bruce. The controversial local Catholic priest, Father Ricepell, embarrassed both himself and an anonymous penitent who had approached a confession booth to seek penance for his historical sex crimes. In the Catholic teaching, the sacrament of penance is the method of the church by which individual men and women may confess sins committed after baptism and have them absolved by God through the administration of a priest. Father Ricepell, who was recently moved to the Diamantina area after running into a bit of mischief in Tamworth several years ago, was left confused by the man's admission that he'd actively crossed the line of sexual consent in several circumstances over the last few decades. Ricepell told us,
"Yeah, I should have just forgiven him. That's what he's there for. But instead I offered him a job." He wasn't expecting that, was he?
And Bruce, we are still waiting to hear back whether the offender took up the offer, so we'll endeavour to keep the public up to date as the story unfolds.
Right, well, elsewhere around town, the Advocate was on the scene for a passive-aggressive showdown this week.
Yes, that's right, it was a showdown until the retail employee at the centre of the tussle just fired the kill shot and dropped the Hun bomb.
After going back and forth for some time with a suburban mum about returning a product that was visibly used, young Phoebe decided that she'd had enough. So she decided to use the word Hun, which is widely regarded as the sister term of the word champ, and is a way of politely insulting someone in an extremely condescending fashion. Phoebe explained that it's a hun-eat-hun world and she knew she had to get on the front foot, so she just went there.
Yeah, it is a surefire way to get the upper hand. And in other news around Betoota this week, a local man has received a promotion. The commercial leasing agent was promoted by a colleague and elevated from work friend status to actual friend status after getting the call up on the weekend. The man named Gary got the nod after his colleague ate 4 low-quality MDMA capsules on Saturday night and needed some company for a dip in Lake Betoota. Onlookers say the two were seen running up and down the beach, hand in hand, in a heartwarming display of friendship.
Yeah, what a lovely story.
Yeah, a nice feel-good one, isn't it, Bruce?
Not like this next one, Del, where a local moron had to wash his clothes for the 5th time this week. The young bachelor was forced to do the same load for the 5th time after forgetting to hang out his laundry again. Miles, the young man from the French Quarter, explained that he was already down to his last pair of socks that day and really had to think on his feet. We'll be checking in to see if he had to do a 6th cycle later in the week.
And on the sporting front, Bruce, we've got a bit of a left field story.
Yeah, a great story. An Australian man has won the Nobel Prize equivalent for mathematics after cracking the code to virtual greyhounds.
Yes, the Fields Prize, as it is known, was won by Professor Ashkay Venkatesh after he figured out the algorithm behind the virtual dogs. The virtual greyhounds found in almost every pub and club around the country are an online simulation of greyhound races and have long been a thing of wonder. Ashkay explained that he was incredibly humbled by the honour, and he said to us,
"The 2 keys are making sure you back number 8 out of the gate in every race with the number 1 or 3 on the end, and ensuring that when you place mystery boxed trifectas, you stand on one leg and rub the side of the terminal."
Interesting story, that one, Wendell. I've always found that the key to the virtual dogs is to not go anywhere near them, for the sake of my financial stability. Anyway, that's it for the news wrap this week. Thanks for tuning in. Just a quick reminder that Clancy and Errol are taking the Betoota Advocate on tour. So head to the website if you want to get front row seats to our humble Outback newspaper when it comes to town. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast in order to get your weekly fix of real, unfiltered and unwavering regional news. Until next week, I'm Bruce Hitchcock.
And I'm Wendell Hussey.